Tyler Best to Worst is brought to you by CuriosityStream. Click the link in the description to get a free month's access to over 2,400 documentaries from some of the world's best filmmakers. Tyler, the creator, is only 28, but his career has been long and varied. He's a rapper, singer, composer, fashion designer, and producer. In this video, I'm going to go through his musical catalog and rank the albums from worst to best. Let's get into it. As Tyler's second record, Goblin isn't hugely different from his first, but there are a few things to note. Firstly, Tyler is now dealing with his newfound fame on Goblin, whereas that wasn't so much of a theme on Bastard. And in my opinion, the themes of fame took away from what made Bastard so interesting. Bastard was written from the perspective of a true outsider. While writing the first album, Tyler wasn't yet famous with a legion of fans behind him. But during the Goblin era, Tyler was suddenly beloved by millions. Sure, he was a controversial figure, but I really wasn't that interested in hearing him rant about how much he hated being famous. In terms of instrumentals and flows, Bastard and Goblin are both pretty impressive for Tyler's age. The albums are almost entirely self-produced, and overall the main reason why I'm more impressed by Bastard than Goblin is because they're very similar, but Bastard is more raw and feels less forced. The lyricism on Goblin, while lonely and isolated in the same vein as Bastard, just doesn't feel natural. By the time we got around to a second album full of edgy teenage antics, it just felt like too much of a good thing. That being said, Goblin is still a really good album and an important step in Tyler's evolution. In my opinion, Bastard should probably be regarded as a classic. Everything about it is just so bizarre, so unlikely. For Tyler to have begun his career here and reached the incredible heights he has today, it's amazing, and it all began with a pair of albums that got the kid banned from England for 5 years. But despite the vulgarity, despite the violent writing, there's something about it that's just different. Looking back on Bastard 10 years later, the fact that Tyler was about to stumble upon something brilliant is honestly pretty obvious. Bastard and Goblin would kickstart a musical legacy unlike any other. But at the same time, they themselves don't even begin to hold a candle to the talent Tyler would later reveal. They're bizarre, absurd windows into the psyche of a musical visionary who was just barely learning how to spread his wings. Cherry Bomb is a mixed bag. It's the odd one out. Where Bastard, Goblin, and Wolf are Tyler's teenage albums known for controversial themes, Flower Boy and Igor are known for their artistic integrity and compositional complexity. But Cherry Bomb doesn't easily fit into either of those classifications. On the one hand, it's inspired by 70s R&B, and on the other, it takes inspiration from early 2000s rock rap and industrial hip-hop. These two conflicting influences don't mesh well, and that's why Cherry Bomb is Tyler's lowest rated album besides Goblin. Personally, I like Cherry Bomb quite a lot. Each moment is different from the next, which is certainly a double-edged sword. Is Cherry Bomb iconic in the same vein as Flower Boy or Bastard? Well, it's not, because the styles and ideas presented by Tyler are all over the place, without a specific identity or theme. Track 5, Find Your Wings, is laid back and soulful with impressively layered instrumentals. It's an inspiring song about being happy and following your own path in life. Track 6, Cherry Bomb, follows immediately after with borderline inaudible screaming, heavy distortion, and a rapid tempo. And honestly, that kind of explains Cherry Bomb as a whole. It lacks the cohesion to reach the same iconic status as so much of Tyler's other work. It's still an important step in Tyler's evolution for sure, but as a whole, it's just not on the same level as the rest of Tyler's work. Igor took me by surprise. Tyler has spent a huge portion of his career so far comparing himself to others, while insisting that he stands out against everyone else. Igor feels like Tyler's first record that comes entirely from within. No fast cars, no trap flows, no disses. It's just Tyler's own musical creativity stemming from his inspirations and experiences. At first, honestly, something about it felt a little off. I missed Tyler's attitude and dark sense of humor. But Igor is still good. It's really, really good. It's just different. And I don't mean it's just different from Tyler's other work. Igor is honestly one of the weirdest albums to hit #1 in a long while. And it didn't just hit #1 either. Igor took Tyler from 5 million listeners on Spotify to almost 20 million. Tyler spoke straight from his heart, pursued his wildest musical interests and lyrical ideas, and he was hugely successful in doing so. Igor isn't my favorite thing Tyler's ever made because, like I said, I'm a huge fan of his dark sense of humor, attitude, and impressive raps. That's not so much a focus on Igor. That being said, it's a young album, and I can see it becoming an influential record on the sound of popular music in years to come. Tyler's orchestral compositions, deeply personal storytelling, and beautiful melodies are some of his most impressive work yet. Wolf is the first Tyler album that sounds anything like his modern sound. It's a long, sprawling record. At over 70 minutes long with 18 tracks, he played with a ton of different styles and moods. From dark, grungy beats on Answer to dreamy soul on Tree Home 9/5, Tyler finally spread his wings as an artist and producer on Wolf. He was still an edgy teen for sure, but his artistry was improving tenfold. Many of the songs on Wolf are still among Tyler's best, from IFHY's moody synths and powerful lyrics to his dark confession regarding the death of his grandmother on Lone. It's an album where the music is written with the maturity of an experienced composer and producer, and the lyrics are coming mostly from the perspective of an edgy, depressed teenager. Of course, Tyler is both the producer and the rapper. All in all, Wolf provided the perfect combination of music and raps that I always wanted to hear from Tyler. Not too harsh and not too soft, Wolf contains the absolute best and most iconic tunes from Tyler's early career. Flower Boy is perfectly balanced. It turned Tyler from a somewhat cult rapper to a mainstream cultural force, influencing the fashion sense and musical taste of teens everywhere. He was finally understood, finally respected as a composer, and finally appreciated by both critics and fans. Flower Boy is his first album where each and every moment flows together and creates a memorable experience from moment to moment. The album is psychedelic, soulful, and at times aggressive, but what ties it all together is Tyler's exploration of his own personal identity, something he never really talked too much about in the past. Tyler's newfound introspection drove an axe through his reputation for dark, heavy music, and turned him into a bright, talented musician serving as a modern icon for the youth, in all their ups and downs, specifically those identifying as LGBT. Flower Boy is Tyler's most complete work yet, his most peaceful, beautiful, and well-composed work yet. Flower Boy will probably go down in history as Tyler's best album, and at the very least I would call it a modern classic. In conclusion, all of Tyler's albums have songs or ideas within them that are interesting, creative, and unique. There's not a single bad record in his discography. Even Goblin, the album that I put at last place on this list, contains many moments of brilliance. Tyler is an amazing artist, and I can't wait to hear what he does next. Now I know how much everyone wants to just watch Volksgeist all day, but I don't have enough time to make that many videos. But I can wholeheartedly recommend this video's sponsor, CuriosityStream, as a great way to spend a couple of bucks per month to enrich your knowledge of the world around you. And thanks to a special offer just for my viewers, if you use the code Volksgeist, you can actually get a month of CuriosityStream for free. CuriosityStream's library contains over 2,400 documentaries and nonfiction titles, spanning genres like science, nature, history, technology, and society. It's the first streaming service that's just dedicated to learning about, exploring, and understanding the world around us. My favorite title on the site, called Sacred Spaces, explores the timeless beauty and mystery of religious buildings, from mosques to churches, so give it a chance. Sign up for your free trial at curiositystream.com/Volksgeist and explore their fascinating catalog of educational programming.